have your nylon string cut in the right measurement, wrapped around these cardboard pieces here and also wrapped around the flip-flop strap, you are ready to start your macrame knotting. Make sure that you have your colors starting at the right direction. I decided for this one here that I like pink to be at the top of the strap and the gray at the bottom. So I'm going to bring the pink towards the right side of the flip-flop and the gray towards the left. And if you haven't noticed, yes, the flip-flop is pointing towards me. The process of doing macrame is pretty much bringing these bundles, I will call these always my bundles, under the strap, over the string and through a big loop. Now you need to be careful that it changes from one side to the other. Because we are doing two different colors, it's gonna be very obvious which one is always the color that initiates the knot. So pink is here on my right, that will be the top color, and that will be the initiating color for the knot. And here is gray on the left, the bottom color. Make sure that you have about a foot of string available to work with on both sides. Pink comes first because that's the top color. Bring the bundle under the strap, hold this loop here, and then bring the whole bundle over the gray. Pick the gray and bring it through this loop right here. Now you may let go of both bundles and pull the strings to the side until it is nice and close to the strap. And yes, you might have to pull on one string and then the other string, one string and then the other string until you get your knot nice and tight. In this case here, since pink is the top color, pink is always going to be the initiator of the knot. This time it's starting from the left side, and you do the same thing. Through the bottom of the flip-flop strap, over the gray, and then bring the gray through that loop that formed here on your left. Pull the strings, and then there we go. Knot number 2 is done. You slightly push the strings towards the other one that had just formed before. Let's do it for the third time. Third knot. Pink goes through and over the green. Now gray comes through the pink. One string kind of like overlaps the other one like that. So you need to fix that right away. Twist it around. There we go, because what you're looking after here is the two strings lying side to side. They shouldn't be one on top of the other, all twisted up. So make sure that that lines up perfectly. Now, how much space do you want between one knot and the other? It depends. I like him nice and tight, but not too much. So I tighten up the sides and just push it towards the end of the strap until it looks like nice and even. All right. You might have noticed now that the color here, they keep switching from one side to the other, and that's exactly what's going to happen throughout the entire strap. Also, the looks of the knot here is different on each side. Let me zoom it in a little bit so you know what I'm talking about. So here you have a bumpy side, and here you have a not bumpy side. This side looks like the string is just traveling away from the strap, right? You have to always pick the side that looks like this, the one where the string looks like it's coming out of it. That is always the initiating side. Make sense? So I will do 2 knots here with the zoom somewhat closer. All right, so pink goes first. There is my gray. Let's lay out the gray. Pink goes first over the gray, and then the gray goes through the pink. There we go. Twist it. Remember to always twist it, and then kind of you have to wriggle the knots around a little bit so that they just look not too tight, not too loose. And one more time. There goes pink again, under the strap and over the gray. And then pull each side. Yep. Okay. And now that you see the knots forming, you need to make sure that the sides are pushed down as well. Pink under the strap and then over and gray through. And I think that by now you got the hang of it. But if you look like, no, I didn't, it looks terrible, I just tell you, you know what, unravel it and do it again, all right? Because it needs to look nice and even. And for you to undo it, you simply pull one out, just reverse the whole process, see? And there we go. You undid it. It's a little not fun to undo it. Rather unravel it now, these few 10 here that we did, than having to unravel 50. I did a few more knots and now I need that jar. Okay, that jar is important for you to support your flip-flop like that. Now we are looking at pink. Guess who is going to be the initiating color now? It's going to be the gray. Nothing really changed. Gray is still going to be on the bottom. Pink is still going to be at the top. Direct your strings to the direction the knot is telling you to go. It's very obvious, right? This one here has the bump, so your string comes away from the bump. This one here has the opening there, so your string comes out of the opening. Let's get the gray first, under the strap, open up the loop, over the pink, and then the pink comes through the gray. There we go. And make sure that your two pink strings are nice and even. From now on, you can work on this on your own. What you're going to do is you're going to work. At some point here, you don't need the jar anymore either. When you get about here, you can have the flip-flop flat on the table again. The jar is helpful only throughout this curve here. That's where the jar becomes very handy. Now work on the macrame here up until you get more or less over here. Then we're going to meet again, and then I'm going to show you how to do, you know, the jump over the toe here, right there. Okay? All right, see you there. Now that you finished your macrame knotting up until just before the toe strap, we are ready to do this crossover here. Now you may have noticed that there is kind of just a little bit of space here. There's a tiny V that the strap forms right here, and there is still a lot of space to be filled in here. That is a little bit of a problem. So for that, you need to make sure that you start bringing your knots on the outside of the strap slightly towards the middle, so that you compensate for that angle. So with that, you kind of push all of them slightly closer towards the angle. And as you do that, tighten the knots as much as you can. And yes, when you get to the middle here, you might have to just be content with seeing a little bit of the strap in between. So I'm going to show you the other one that's already done and how it kind of looks. So let me zoom it in and you will know what I'm talking about. So you see, there is more knots here than here, right? So we have to kind of like create that angle. And there is more space in between the string right here in the middle. And I really don't know my way around it other than just keeping it the way it looks like this. It looks okay to me. If you use a flower or a jewelry of some kind, a button or anything that you like to decorate this, nobody will see it anyways. If you're using your flip-flop like this, yeah, it'll be just a little more spacey right there. I don't think it's a problem. I think it looks nice just the same. I have the impression that I can fit two more here, one more over there, and then go over. So let's see how that goes. So go under and over. There we go. Okay, so now that I'm here, I'm kind of like, all right, do I cross over? Do I not? It's hard to tell. I think I rather have the crossover happening when my gray is leaving from this side. So I'm gonna go under one more time on that side and through. I'm gonna push the knots into that side as much as I can. And there we go. That is as many knots I can fit in the V as possible. So it is now time that the gray goes not from this side, but from this side. That's what I call the crossing over the toe strap. And it's a little hard also to line up those two strings perfectly. So a little bit of imperfection, I'm okay with that. It works. All right, so as I mentioned, instead of here, we go now through here. So that's on the other side of the strap. Over the pink. Pink goes through, and there we go. So this creates a bigger loop, a bigger knot on that side, just to cover the toe strap. You will see that that happened on this one here as well. It kind of got a little stretched out. That's normal. All right. So from now, we are working this way. And of course, as you notice, your work starts turning here, right? Yeah. Oops, got hooked under the flip-flop. There we go. And yes, one more time, as you do it, start pushing the knots closer towards this way as much as possible. Let's do one more, and then you will know what I'm talking about. Okay, there. Okay, that knot and that space, so that we can cover the strap as much as possible. Push this one towards the center as much as you can. So now from here, we're doing the same thing over and over again. All right, so finally you have your knots. There we go. If you work a little bit with this side, it also pushes it in even. Okay. So now finally you have the thing going smoothly again. All right, and this is where you just work again more or less until here. All right, and that's where the jar will come handy again. And yeah, I mentioned it before, your flip-flop, instead of pointing to you, starts pointing away from you, and we start working down this direction. Makes sense? So here we go. Let's do two more together, and then I'll let you do your job and I'll do mine, and we meet at the jar point. Let's call it the jar point, right? Okay, so I hope this was very well explained. It's tough. I always, every time when I have to do the cross over the toe strap there, I always go like, it never seems to look good enough, but it's okay. I think it's okay. It didn't, yeah, now that I look at it, I'm fine with it. It looks very even and consistent with the other one. Yeah, actually right on. See? Yeah, very good. Now, go ahead and work on yours. And when you feel that you can't see anymore, use the jar. Okay, I will probably meet you here one more time over there. Okay? See you there. Here it is. I'm at a point where, yes, I need the jar because it starts kind of like twisting. And if I don't turn this around, it won't work. Same idea, nothing really different from before. All right. And then push the knots down. And what's going to happen here is that as you work towards the end of the strap, that you will end up again facing the inside of the strap, just like you did over here. And that's where we will then flip things around one more time. You will be again going pink first and gray after, remember? So that's it. So continue working here, and let's say we should meet more or less, I would say, over here. Then we'll talk a little bit again, okay? I finished the macrame knotting here until at about 2 inches from the end. And this is the point where I don't need the jar anymore, because now I can lay the flip-flop flat here and continue working with it stable on a flat surface. What happens now is, just as we worked in the beginning, we started always looking the inner side of the strap, and then we started working with the outer side of the strap more visible, and then it goes all around, and now it twists again, and we come back to the same situation we have here. So what happens is we have to, one more time, flip the direction of the string. So bring your bundles again to each side, and just as we started, pink first, and then gray, and then we switched to gray first, and then pink. We go back to pink first and gray. It just flips itself around. Makes sense? And with that in mind, we finish it until the end, and pretty much very close to the strap. So I am assuming that by now you got the idea of how to do the knots, so I don't think we need to do this here step by step. So I will meet you at about, I would say, over here. All right, and then we will finish it up using the glue. There we go. I finally got to the end of the strap, and what happens here is that it's really hard to get this side look exactly the same like that one. It's difficult to bring the strings through the very end here. So all I do, I just pull them down. I try to go as close as I can, knotting it as close as I can to the end, and then I pull it down a little bit, and there we go. That's the best I think I could figure out up until this point. It doesn't look like it's a big deal to me. You know, people, when they're wearing this really doesn't show, okay? So it doesn't look ugly in my opinion. Now from here, we are going to do the gluing. You need to have ready a needle, a coin, or if you have a thimble, remember the sewing thimble things from the sewing box? If you don't have that, a coin will do, and your liquid fusion glue. Have that ready. Of course, scissors as well. There we go. What you need to do, you need to cut the string at about a foot away, or a little less. Doesn't have to be a whole foot away from where you ended. And then you will notice that you will have 4 strings here available right now that need to be taken care of. You need to take 1 string at a time, pull it through the needle, and what you have to do, you need to pull it through the sandal strap hole. And if you just go like that, it's never gonna go through. What you need to do here is you simply need to turn the sandal and kind of wriggle this around a little bit. It can be a little stiff until you see the hole opening up a little bit. Makes sense? All right. Now, get that needle, get your thimble or a coin, all right? What I mean is you will need your finger to really press this needle through, because it can be a little tight, all right? So kind of simply pull it in and press it through, and it's not piercing anything really. You have to maybe bend your flip-flop like that. Oops. And yeah, it can puncture the wrong direction if you're not careful. But what you're looking at is right there. See it coming through? And I use the thimble so I don't hurt my finger. A coin will do. Just press through until there's nothing left. And then grab it from the other side. And there we go. Let go and pull really tight. 1 string is done. Now do that with all the others. Now the next step is to put the glue on, and that is done from this side. Before you cut these, you need to put the glue inside the knob. And what I do, I really try to get the thing out of there. See? And I really want it showing. All right? And with that in mind, I will grab the glue, the liquid fusion, and squeeze it in there. Lots of it. I mean, a nice good bubble. See? And then from the other side. All right. And then with the needle, I try to just squeeze it in even more. As much as you can. Squeeze it right into it. Make it nice and wet. All right. Once that is done, let it just sit flat. And then, yes, you will see the bubble. So try to spread it all around here. Once you're done with your needle, make sure you clean that up, because once this glue is hardened, it's really tough. So you want to clean that up and wash your hands. Once that is done, you go ahead and let this cure for a whole day. Seriously, a whole day. Leave it sitting there. And the next day, we will then cut the strings. So that's where we are going to meet again. Good job. I think you were successful if you came to this place right now. And I'm looking forward to maybe see a picture of this. So make sure that you put this on my Facebook group. All right, so that you can share your work of art with other people as well. Thank you so much, and I see you tomorrow for us to just cut the string and be ready to go. And then we will decorate the straps with some flowers and some buttons. There we go, you did it. It's done. So this has been sitting here for 24 hours. And what you do now, you simply cut the strings as close as you can to the knob here. And there's a little tip left there, which doesn't really bother me either. Can maybe try to cut it a little shorter. There we go. It becomes super solid and stiff. So this is really good glue. All right, it's gonna do its job really well. Now, you're done. There we go. Here's the other one. Look how pretty, isn't it? Now, you might want to use your flip-flop just like that. There we go. Without any embellishments. I think you could. It looks, in my opinion, adorable. Or you may want to decorate them with crochet flowers, buttons, jewelries, and other stuff. I do have a video just on decorating these flip-flops that you can watch. Make sure that you go on the descriptions below and check it out and make this look even nicer than it already is. So thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, share this video with somebody that might be interested in learning how to do this, and I would be delighted to see your projects. Don't forget to share on Facebook, and the link for that is on the descriptions below as well. Follow me on Instagram, and let's keep in touch. Thank you again.